Welcome. I'm excited for today's virtual coaches chat, and appreciate you carving out some time in the middle of your day. My name is Matt Weldy. I'm fortunate to serve as executive director of our Monogram Club at Notre Dame, focused on engagement with our former student athletes. It's an honor of mine in my day-to-day to serve as sport administrator for our fencing program, and having the opportunity to work alongside the best coaches in the country, the best student athletes in the world, right? And we have our leader, our fearless leader, with us today. It's been a challenging year, but in a lot of ways, it's been an amazing year. Some obvious ones that you're going to hear a little bit about today. In this environment, these types of virtual gatherings have just allowed us to stay connected when we can't physically be together. And nothing replicates coming back to campus and spending time. And our host and I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but we're hopeful for the future. And we certainly wish you and your families well, and can't wait to get you back here. A couple additional remarks before we get into the program. On behalf of Notre Dame Athletics, I want to thank and recognize our fencing alumni and benefactors on the call. I want to thank you for your engagement and your support of Notre Dame fencing, especially through your contributions to the Rockney Athletics Fund. Thank you for your leadership in assisting with the endowment of scholarships, for putting us in a position to train within some of the finest facilities in the country. Look no further than the Castleton Family Fencing Center for that. And all of these things allow us to create an unmatched student athlete experience. So with that, I'm gonna pass the proverbial microphone to our host and moderator. We had a lot of pre-submitted questions that we're gonna go ahead and cover today. And if there are additional questions that you have, feel free to throw those in the Q&A chat, and we'll do our best to get to those as well. There'll also be some follow-up opportunities. But with that, I will introduce Nina Sirico. She appears as Amanda on your screen, but her friends and people that she likes allow them to call her Nina, and I got her permission for that yesterday. So a 2019 graduate and fencing monogram winner, four-time All-American during her time at Notre Dame. Oh, and by the way, a world champion, having earned a gold medal in 2018 with Team USA's Women's épée team at the Senior World Championships. She is currently in the DC area, completing her Master's of Science in Management through the Wake Forest School of Business. And she took a break from her virtual coursework to be with us today. So Nina, with that, thank you in advance, and the show is yours.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. Hello, everyone that's here. I've been tasked with introducing Gia, and that's a tall ask, but I'll give it a try. If you don't already know Gia, he not only has a wonderful personality and is the cheeriest man I know, he's also the humblest person I know, so I will gladly brag for him. Gia is a three-time national champion head coach. He was 2018 College Varsity Coach of the Year, and in 2010 he was named Olympic Committee Coach of the Year, which is only a small part of his very stunning career so far, and it's awesome to have you here to chat with us.
Thank you, guys, and I am so honored to be introduced by one of the Notre Dame greatest, and I truly mean it. Prior to the webinar, we were talking to each other and Matt, and kind of dissecting Nina's career at Notre Dame, and its highest winners percentage probably any athlete, not just the épées, which is hardest about to come by at the NCAAs. For 3 years she competed, she averaged 20 wins. That's amazing. And her leadership and charisma and character and a kindness, I don't know. I'm just lucky and fortunate and humbled to be called her coach and a friend and be introduced by her. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're gonna make me blush. Okay, so we have a number of questions from our audience, and to start us off, we have some questions about what's at the forefront of everyone's mind. COVID, like we were talking about earlier. But before we get to where the team is today, I think we all want to know your thoughts after the 2020 NCAAs were canceled. I remember the moment I found out I wouldn't be competing, but I can't even imagine what it felt like for you. I remember the kind words you had to me, but could you share with everyone the message you had for the team after such an abrupt and unsatisfying end to the 2020 season?
Well, Nina, that was one of the most, I would say, tragic but traumatic experiences in my life. Truly, I'll just give you a little bit of prelude. The 3 weeks after that, everything gets shut down here. I just couldn't stay at home, and even the university told us, "Do not come to work, stay home order." I drive here. about 3 weeks, and I go to the gym, and everything was like you guys left. Machines were off. Everything else was the same. The balls, the targets, and everything was positioned like practice was there 5 minutes before that. I looked at the distance, like a field between Jordan Hall and a Joyce Center, and it was about 14 deer, literally because the campus was so desolate for 3 weeks that deer actually migrate into the campus to this fertile grounds of the grass over here. Really, looking back, and I will probably never forget the moment we've been told that, okay, there's no NCAAs, guys, and you have 48 hours to leave the campus. Devastation, disappointment. I tried to reach whatever I could individually because the collective address would not do anything. And I talked to some of you guys, or if I maybe forgot to talk to a lot of others, really cannot recall how hard it was for us, and not having a prospect when everything was going to get opened, coming back here and individually pack everybody's stuff with the gloves on. And literally, I mean, I'm not a sentimental person. I don't cry, but the tears, I mean, almost trickling down because I didn't know when we're going to see you guys, and I haven't seen you for a year now. But again, just look forward to something better for next day or day after that, which did not come by, and the graduation went without you. So we had a small virtual graduation party, but it was strange. Really, no one had to say anything. So we got through it, but all I could relate to you guys how much we loved you and how much we cared and appreciated your efforts and contribution to our program.
I can definitely echo that. We're very much a family, and you did a great job of making us feel like that, even though we had to say goodbye too early. And with that, you went straight into a season like the team had never seen before. Can you talk a little bit about navigating through a fall semester and some of the challenges you all faced on campus?
And again, so we adopted the motto, embrace the chaos. So we did not know what was going to happen. We're going to start the school year, not, and university made this bold and incredibly courageous decision, which was backed up by so many efforts over so many people to make it happen academically and athletically. The toughest time was the get back to is a protocol which got us back to the facilities. So we only could train with 10 athletes at the time outside with the masks on. And then we had 60 people. So we divided group by 2 and spread all the 3 different directions in the campus because we could not be together. And the second 30 could have been inside of the gym. So we rotate like a carousel between 2 groups of 30. And that took us 25 days before we were allowed to have 25 athletes in the gym. Then we had divided by 2 groups of 25 or 30. And then a month and 10 days later, we had entire team inside of the gym. Lifting facilities were off limits because we could not have more than 10 people over there. That's teams that big, we couldn't have it. I need to give the incredible credit to our coaches, especially Cedric Loiseau, our associate head coach. He was an architect of strength and conditioning program for an entire team, to the details that he would take the masks we're going to use it for Under Armour made or the university made, and he would run 3 to 4 miles to kind of test them, how it would work for the athletes. So Cedric designed an incredible get to back to shape program, because knowing that we would have to fence with the masks on, if we had a chance for NCAAs, we had to be conditioned better than any other team in the country. So he came up with the individual testing for every athlete, and we started implementing the program who would really get them to the level, could compete on the highest possible RPMs and be able to sustain that rhythm. Cedric was amazing, and the coaches really bought into it. And we told our kids, we are not going to make you do something we're not going to do ourselves. So we committed to 6 a.m. trainings 3 times a week, and we ran with them. Sometimes we're at the end of Cedric was on the top of the pack, and I was on the end, but we did it together. And buy into our mentality was amazing from our student athletes as well. We became truly a one team, one heartbeat by the time we got to the fall, because we truly believed in each other. So morning training 3 times a week, and then we'll have afternoon trainings like we did, like where you were here, Nina, and with the whole, tough conditions with the masks on to get used to it. And at the same time, kids opted to take an enormous sacrifice to stay disciplined, to stay poised. And we pretty much in the fall semester went through, through COVID unscathed, unharmed. We had few contact trace and few cases just from the roommates, but our kids were really disciplined. So I was so grateful for the efforts, and especially coaches and coaches as well.
I love that. Embrace the chaos. That sounds like an incredible amount of patience and discipline. But not only that, I think that really attests to the trust that everyone has, because they needed to trust you, you needed to trust them. And it's great that you guys were able to create an environment that was safe, but also highly competitive, and honestly put you guys closer and made you better athletes. But that's awesome.
Truly, I remember the October when that, days got shorter, and we would be like we would have lights on the head and running through the lakes. It was special, but I'm not waking. I don't really miss the waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, but it is what it is. We all got through together, but again, the character was built, the identity were forged for our athletes, and that was the kind of prelude to the success we experienced later on.
Well, I'm glad you guys were better for it. And that's a crazy number of challenges. The life of a student athlete, especially during a pandemic, is one of many challenges, as you just talked about. For our next question, in addition to the challenges that the student athletes face this year, I think it's safe to say that everyone's dealt with the impact related to social justice in our country. Could you talk us through how you and your staff have facilitated these tough yet necessary conversations with the team?
That was the awakening. I grew up in the former Soviet Republic of Georgia. We didn't have much choice over there. We come here for states. I come here for the better future. It's an amazing country, but realizing there is so much work to do. What got us to what felt like what was going for us to tackle those issues and raise the voice and raise the awareness and be a part of this process for social justice was that we have one of the most diverse team on campus, probably in the country, from the racial standpoint, to ethnic, to religious, to you name it. We have athletes from 11 different countries. And we also have incredibly intelligent, like you guys could see on Nina's an example, intelligent and sensible people. And we had to learn to listen, to learn and educate. We facilitated the webinars and forums internally in the team, and we could listen and understand where the pain came from, and share the ideas and experiences with each other. As well, we used all the resources available from Rice University. We did a voting initiative with Muffet McGraw. We did our webinars. We had guest speakers, the Olympian like Daryl Homer, who could tell us his experiences going into New York City. So it's an ongoing process, but when you have the athletes and the kids who care, who love, and who embrace the equality and all the great virtues that human kind could offer, it's easier to make the impact. And we try to make the impact internally and wide, university wide. And that's going to be ongoing processes, I thought, but we're not stopping here for sure.
That's awesome to hear. I'm going to say this a lot, but we're very much like a family. And I'm glad to hear that everyone's very open to having conversations and just identifying that we need to have those every day. But I'm glad to hear that you guys are really taking a step forward and like really.
We're learning as well. We're
yeah. It takes, I think, just identifying that you need to learn to take the first step. But that's awesome to hear. So on to our next question, switching gears. Planning a competition schedule is quite challenging under normal conditions, but this year, like we touched on before, was different from any other year. So how did you go about formulating a plan to take into account so many unknown factors? Did you have to take into consideration that was different from seasons past?
Everything changed the weekly. So we could never have a set schedule or any kind of bearings we could get to. So when we brought the team back, we told them, we don't care if it's going to be NCAAs, ACCs, or anything. We just want to embrace and relish the fact that we have an opportunity to be with each other. And we gave them example. 50% of the teams are shut down. But we get to have the privilege to train and have a camaraderie and building this program where it's supposed to be, continuing the legacy of the Notre Dame fencing. So we never talked about possibility to compete, but we always prepared to be ready on a minute's notice to be able to be on the strip and anywhere in the country, given an opportunity to compete on the high level. We got to the November, and the first competition is the usual Penn State Open. Of course, it gets canceled, and then a domino effect follows. The January competition gets canceled. Of course, NACs are not, existing. January New York City gets canceled. So I got on the phone with Don Anthony from Ohio State and Wes Glahn, and we said, okay, why don't we meet somewhere and have a tournament to kick the season off? And we allocated the DiCicco Open time for that. And Big Ten was really receptive to have a competition on the grounds of Ohio State, and then the Duke, North Carolina, and then the next thing you know, we had 15 teams participating. But we only could fence 4 matches in 2 days because of the COVID protocol. But we said, heck with that, just give us a chance. So they end up from the 6 teams to 4 matches to 7 matches in 2 days, which was a luxury. So we get to the fall, no competition, and then we're counting if the Ohio State could happen, there's a chance for the season. We brought the athletes early from the winter break, 3 weeks early. We isolated them in the hotels, and we put them in the bubble when they started preparing for the competitions. And it usually takes, kids, athletes were prepared already, 3 weeks to get them to the peak performance. Ohio State happens, we have a 3 weeks of clean testing. We got on the bus, we show up, and the dream started. We crushed it. And again, we were really upfront and very transparent with our athletes. And we told them the character will win the championships. We know we are strong. We know we have talent. Do we have a character to persevere? And guess in the first match out of the gate, after the 7 months of absence or the year of absence, literally us versus Penn State, and we kids really performed the highest level. I think we won the first, we won every single match, but just the first match was against the strongest team on the field. No offense to others for the remaining the field. And we challenged them, and they came through with the flying colors. And I knew that if we could make it to the gym, get in there, we would have a chance to compete for the title at the end of the year.
That's amazing. I feel like the team has seen adversity before. I definitely remember personally when we lost the tiebreaker for ACCs and had to get ready for championships. But with such adversity and honestly just wanting to be able to compete, did you see anything different in your student athletes this year when, like you said, they got on strip and they were driven? Did you see like a different level of commitment or just a joy?
It's a liberation, I would say, that only time it was a miserable. Can you imagine Nina, I'm not a yeller, but I'm yelling at them every day to stay focused. But eventually they develop this desensitized with that, and just words go one to the other. But when I say, I speak from all of us coaches here, without their incredible work, there is nothing could be possible. It takes the Army to make the national championship team. It takes the village to raise the child. It's Army, and there's a medical community here who was an amazing support, and our academic advisor. Speaking of academically, our first semester, women's GPA was 3.6. I mean, that's what the adversity they had to go through with the masks on and the training, and the boys slightly behind. You know, it's always happens like that. But you know, with getting to the gym and putting the masks on and competing was, I've never seen the kids so joyous. We get to the NCAAs and even like nobody was nervous, and I was nervous because nobody's nervous. But the fencing became an outlet to the freedom, outlet to the happiness, and the gift was there. We just had to stay focused to get there. But it came with a really hefty price for athletes and the sacrifice they had to make.
That sounds like pure passion, though, and I love to hear it. So I seriously doubt that anyone would disagree that Notre Dame not being at ACCs this year was a huge letdown to hear, maybe other than Duke. Although it was absolutely necessary and you always have to put your athletes first, I'm sure it's still a huge bump in the road when it comes to working towards a championship. How did you keep the team focused on the ultimate goal?
Nina, you were the part of the team when we lost to Duke and then went on to win the NCAAs. So it happened 2 hours prior to Duke. The trip got canceled. We went to bed knowing that we would be on the bus and driving to airport. That week was the hardest hit for us. We had 5 cases. Tuesday, we had the case, and consequently, we have a Thursday test. And Friday morning, the test came back with 4 positives. So decision was made, and rightly so, by university health team experts to hold us from the competition. So they test us on Friday and Sunday, and everything comes negative. So had we gone, we probably could have been okay. We were like a 2 starters short, but the Monday practice and Tuesday, I've never seen so down. It was a tragedy here. Really, we were mourning someone, like everybody in our lives who died that day, apparently. And then we told the kids, you know what, we're going to turn up the heat. I mean, this is it. This is a last warning. We have 21 days to get to NCAAs. This is it. So again, we had to make this huge sacrifice as well. We had to split the team in half and only could train with half of the team. And university was an amazing support, gave us an amazing support that we could move these qualifiers because there's no qualifiers. And NCAA roster was decided by the 3 dual meets only. And we also got shortened ACCs. So we moved the team qualifiers to the hotel, so which had kind of helped us from the contact tracing. We were 10 days in the hotel prior to NCAA. So we go to NCAAs and the contact tracing team called us, and Carol Linder's roommate get tested positive. I said, no way. Kara's not been on the campus for 10 days. So it was incredible support we got from university and allowing us to move that and give us a chance to have the strongest athletes available for NCAA. So again, we didn't go to there, but the ultimate goal was to win the title. And congratulations to Duke. We never got a chance to fence them during the season, so I don't know how we matched with each other with a dual meet format, but it really didn't matter. So we just wanted to go after the ultimate prize, what was to bring the 11th national championships to this amazing place.
Speaking of that, our next questions have to do with the national championship. And I'm just going to start by saying it gave me so much joy to know the trophy was coming home again. And really just congratulations to you and the team. That's an amazing accomplishment. And like you said, that marks the program's 11th in the history, which matches football for the most won by any one program at Notre Dame. And to me personally, that means we're 1 championship shy of officially being a fencing school. But
tiebreaker goes to us because we're the last one who won the championship. So we'll start from there.
True. Very true. So how gratifying was it to hold that trophy again?
Well, I'll take you to small journey. So we get ready for NCAAs. And then we have 2 weeks of testing, and every test comes completely negative from both sides, the kids who trained and who were on campus. So again, it speaks of volume of an entire team. They couldn't come here. They knew that they couldn't train, but they kept the protocol worthy of the kids who competed. So I cannot tell you how proud and honored I am of the entire team. So they behaved like a champs. So we test negative and we get on the bus, we drive to Penn State. And there were the 3 tests over there. We had a Wednesday test, Thursday test, and Saturday test. And we started competing on Thursday. So we get there and we're crushing it. Every single day we increase the lead. We get the Saturday test, and it takes 45 minutes, and they give you the result immediately, but it takes 45 minutes to process entire 12 people. And we're sitting there, and I hear that Boston College, one of the athletes gets tested positive. The women's team and women are finishing. They pulled entire women's roster out of the competition. So that was the 45 most excruciating minutes of my life. And I don't know who was the last one. I tested negative, and I said, okay, now we're gonna win it. I knew that was giving us a chance to be in the venue on Sunday. And the defining factor of entire year was the character. Like I said, we won 85% of the matches in the second day. And Nina, you know that second day when the fatigue sets in and you start thinking about your individual result as well, and the thoughts getting distracted, and the pressure intensifies. So second day, as the men and women, they both average 85% of the bouts that, defense they won. So that tells you how strong and how determined those athletes were. So we're waiting now. The last day, we have 11-point lead, and we have to win 35 matches. It's a combination 35 points between us winning and Penn State losing. And we're looking at the chart, and I said, we can win 40 ourselves. We don't need the help. We could do it. And the Miriam Grady happens to fence the Penn State young lady, and the head-to-head matches is a 2 points instead of 1. And I think it was a 5-3 match, and that light, I will never forget that red light. I think it's always going to be staying. So I ran to the coaches and just gave the biggest hug and appreciation. What they have to done to keep the kids poised. But I didn't want to tell the athletes, because somebody comes and Stephanie Deschner, the eventual national champion, comes and start crying. I said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to see it. I said, get back to the strip. You have 6 more bouts to win. So she was like, but we won. I said, I don't care. The job is not done. We're going to finish strong. And end up, she won the last 6 matches and went on to win the NCAA championships. But huge appreciation to thoughts of the athletes who did not make the journey. The first my thought went there. The kids who helped and really pushed each other to the breaking point. And like iron sharpens the iron. If those kids were not in here, our team, the other half, would not be able to win the championship. So everyone really mattered. Everyone's effort was appreciated. I just felt like I was hugging them from all the way from State College to here on campus. That was the hardest thing, one of the hardest things as a coach I've experienced, but the most gratifying I've also been. So appreciating what was the part of the equation of an amazing human being, because the coaches and athletes and students who were here and everyone who supported and helped us to get there and bring that truly honor to our university.
And for those of you that don't know, every time we bring home a trophy, Gia always talks to the entire team and tells them, it didn't matter if you were there, you showed up, you were committed, you earned this ring, this trophy is also yours. And it's awesome to hear that the entire team came together to make this championship happen.
Well, they forged this, they got the ring, that this ring is forged by 63 athletes and countless others who helped them, but their perseverance was like second to none. In the mornings, we kept each other cheerful. Again, it gets old with masks on and maybe no possibility to compete. And the situation was kind of dire. The cases go up, and our kids, the first and most important, we went through it and we had the cases, but our athletes are safe and they're healthy. We did not have any serious complications, and thank Lord to that. I mean, truly, I go to Grotto like once a week and truly pray over there. I'm not Catholic, but I truly believe that, there is something greater than us. And I go and pray for the well-beings. And I don't know. I mean, literally the lady on the dome was really watching us after all year long. That's for sure.
I agree. You do not need to be religious to feel that like special feeling at the grotto, like you're being heard. But that's amazing. So Notre Dame knows a lot about winning, but I think everyone wants to know, what is the secret to success for Notre Dame fencing?
Well, there is no secret. The first and most important, you have to get lucky that, like athletes like yourself, Nina. I remember the moment when you committed, where I was. I truly remember it. At the place, I can even smell and taste the air, because that's how important it is for the success to have someone like you and countless others who really created this entity called Notre Dame fencing. I could from the kids who are the contributors, who won the NCAAs, to the committed to us. I remember all those occasions. Without you guys, there is no Notre Dame fencing, and without alumni who paved this pathway where we at right now, there is no success. Success comes probably from everyone working hard. Everyone had a goal to make this amazing place they're proud. When you guys traveled, when you got in the huddle, nobody thought about, oh, I'm going to win 4 bouts and it's going to be just for Nina Sirico or anyone else. You guys all said, go Irish. This is what is special about it. We fence for each other. We fence for this university, and we fence for this program. The love and compassion and dedication and devotion, it's the secret. And then you get to have an incredible coaches here. I mentioned already Cedric, who is just a superstar. And we have Bucky, who's a Hall of Fame coach, and Christian, who's one of the best what he does, who also happen to be an incredible human beings who care about the success of the student athletes and their well-being. You combine that with the resources university and the respect gives to this fencing and help alumni we get from, and that is the winning combination. But you take one of those out, there's no championships. But our relationships to each other and our commitment to our athletes and their well-being means more than anything for us. But making the university proud, this is probably the best thing we have here.
And talking about building a legacy and hopefully welcoming some new Irish, let's talk about recruiting during a pandemic. How have you been able to recruit at a high level in lieu of not being able to travel or host on campus or any of the normal activities that you usually use?
Nina, and you probably could be a testament for that one and a lot of others. What makes Notre Dame, quote unquote, sell? Yes, it's academics, of course. It's a tradition, but until you come and see the campus, you don't understand what you're walking into. It's atmosphere. It's an aura of something really special. What makes Notre Dame? It's something unique. And not having athletes come to the campus, it was huge disadvantage for us. Literally, that what is the 70% of our athletes commit on the spot, or when they go home and they'll tell us, okay, this felt like my home. This place is special. So you take this away and you put yourself in a huge disadvantage. So Zoom does not, and webinars and video conferences and video, like we have a few footages university put out, it does not reflect the soul of this place. So that was probably the second hardest thing we have to dealt with, besides in not having full functioning freedom here in the recruiting. So that's gonna affect a little bit, but we managed to bring small but a very powerful class next year. We have only 5 athletes, and we usually average 15 athletes to 17. I don't know how big your class was, but probably had probably 16 or 17 kids.
We had like 22.
Oh gosh, yes. Hello, I should know better than that. So it's a huge, but what we have right now, we have a very strong and young team. This team is very young, was this year. and we're bringing the few very critical pieces. Top, number one foil fencer in the world is going to be a freshman this year, as well as the 4 others, very strong athletes, 3 saberists, and a 2 foilists. And a very diverse class, incredibly diverse class. They come from the 3 different countries and all different backgrounds. Like we talked about, building the diverse community here. This team is small but very reflective to our ideas, as well as very experienced athletically. We still have Olympic hopefuls on the roster. We still have a national. We only graduate a few kids. We're gonna miss them dearly, but replacement and development has been really good, and especially in this part of COVID year, we take, because kids traveled less, they spend more time on the campus for that road, the development road was even more broadened. So I feel pretty comfortable for 2022. We will be competitive. Like we've been competitive last 5-6 years. Even we did not win the national championships, we went there with the hopes to winning it. So hopefully this will be the same for our program, that we're competing at home next year. The pressure will be immense to defend and show who we are at home with our crowd. But at the same time, there's nothing to prove. I mean, we just have to work really hard, and when the opportunity gives itself, we just attack it. So I'm pretty hopeful for next year with the classes coming in and what we bring back. So we'll be very dynamic and pretty strong unit.
That's great to hear. I'm sure they're super excited. I hope they love campus when they see it. I know they will. But another question we have for recruiting is, what would you say are the most difficult aspects of recruiting in general and in a COVID environment?
Again, hopefully that's a dead period. NCAA had a dead period. We cannot see anyone or travel anywhere, or even I know that few athletes visited, but we didn't have any communication. We always said, okay, we're done. We cannot even interact with you. We cannot even email you while you're on campus. So hopefully the dead period will be lifted. Presumably should be in May 31st. From June, we'll be able to communicate in person with the recruits and be able to bring them to campus. And that will be the first step to kind of to bring back that kind of energy and energy to the recruiting trail. The second, we've done the groundwork for 2022 class right now, and it looks incredibly strong. It's one of the, I mean, your class and the class after you was really strong, would pave the way to 2 national championships. This class could be as strong as the 2014 and 2015 class, possible 2022 class, if everything goes accordingly, and verbal commits we have if they stay, and the most important, academically they have to get into Notre Dame. So if everything comes together, we should be in a good position to continue the winning tradition here.
That's awesome. I hope those work out. So changing gears a little bit, the Olympics are just around the corner, and Notre Dame certainly is a program of excellence in all areas. So we not only have a ton of alumni that are participating, but also current students. And real quick, I just wanted to give a shout out to Nick Itkin, Amita Berthier, Lee Kiefer, Gareth Meinhardt, Sabrina Masialis, Courtney and Kelly Hurley, and of course, Daryl. Along with any other Irish competing, and just say congratulations. You must be so proud. I think everyone would love to hear your perspective on such a rich legacy and just your message to them as they go on to compete.
Oh, this is one of my favorite topics lately. So 2 days ago, the 12-hour difference between here and the 10 hours to Uzbekistan, and Amita wins nail biter, 15-14, down by 2 touches, and punches the ticket. And that's 11th athlete, which combines with current and former. As of now, Notre Dame has broken its own record, what was probably the national record. We had 5 in Rio, and we have 11 athletes qualified for Tokyo. And we have a Jonah Schoenberg who will be attending, and wishing him the absolute best next week in Richmond to be 12th. 11, this is absolutely mind-boggling. And we have to can miss Mario Zagunis, Eva Nelip, and the three current one, Kaylin, Nick, and Amita. That's a record also for the current athletes. Usually we had one or two current and the rest of them. So this is an incredible testament to the strength and traditions to our fencing program. And Nina, if not the injury which you had dealt with the last 2 years, I am absolutely positive you would have been in that team. You will have a talent and a knowledge what it takes. Hopefully your career will turn and you will achieve your, besides world championship gold, you'll get the Olympic gold as well, because you are worthy of that. But it's such an incredible time for Notre Dame athletics in fencing in particular, because 11, it's like astronomical number. 30% of US national team will be Notre Dame athletes, 30%, 8 out of 24. This is unheard of. So I wake up every morning and I think I'm still dreaming, but everyone who prior to us, the coaches, this was the legacy of Coach DeChico and Coach Oriel and Coach Bernarski. That's what they've done. They built this powerhouse, and we're just lucky enough to be a part of it and continue the best we can what they started. So the credit goes to all of them, the athletes and coaches prior to us. We're just recipient of this bounty for sure.
It makes you real proud to call yourself an Irish, but when I saw Amelia qualified, I was so happy. I was like, there are so many people. I have so many hours of the Olympics to watch now. And like, obviously go Team USA, but I will be up for probably weeks now watching fencing.
That's outstanding. Hopefully everything will go accordingly and they'll be able to compete for their countries. So
if not, they have so much to be proud of, and I know they have so much they have yet to accomplish. So good luck to all of them. Absolutely. So back to Notre Dame fencing, what's next? We'd like to hear the amazing things that we can plan on seeing from Notre Dame fencing moving forward. And what are your expectations leading into next season?
Well, again, we're gonna play by the weeks. You know, as of now, our athletes fully are engaged with preparation for NAC coming up in Richmond. We had a really great showing in the last one. We had a few top 4 finishers, and the people call us the Army sometimes. We travel well. It's not just football who does that, by the way. But again, after that come back, kids have to prepare for the finals. That will be the main priority for us, and make sure they finish the school in the right notes, and we, correlate our athletic success with academically as well. And in the summer, just send them all the information they need to keep up the physical fitness. And I'm sure most of them will be competing and training. They're also competing because the COVID, there's a few competitions scheduled in the summer, all through the June, July, and August. So they'll keep them in shape and start planning for the next week when they return. Again, the sky's the limit for this program, but also competition is so immense. Ivy's returning to the scene, and Ohio State is coming back, and all the other schools who competed this year. It's going to be a tough outing next year. So we have to, coaches rely on their knowledge and design something amazing like they did this year, and be able to recruit the great kids and keep them motivated, keep them humbled, keep them hungry, and like you guys wrote on your rings, humble and hungry. So to not to get satisfied. The day we get satisfied, the day we should go home and put our masks on the fireplace or mantle or wherever is that. But this is going to be the next chapter. But as of now, we're still wrapping up this year and not slowing down. The kids are fully engaged and involved to getting ready for the next competition.
Awesome. Sounds pretty busy. Finals are no joke. Speaking of motivation, do you have any motivational tools in place for next season? After such a challenging season, I'm sure it's hard to keep everyone completely motivated and ready to go.
When I recruit, Nina, and I'm sure I told you when you were coming here, I don't really have to motivate much. You guys are the biggest motivator for each other, and you guys motivate us. And that's so special about it. I don't know the last time I told an athletes or our kids that, oh, guys, work harder. We need to tell you guys to just go away. Nina, how many times you would be given 30 minutes workout and it'll be like passing the 30 minutes and Cedric had to tell you, by the way, Nina, stop it. How many times we had to put you on a time clock, or even without being injured, you had to stay and do the footwork. I have a footages. I will take the footages of you doing the footwork way past 6 o'clock. I'll send you those all those texts.
I can't believe you're spying on me.
Well, of course, and acceleration. I was telling everyone to look at the acceleration, by the way. But one of the things what makes this, you guys are motivating each other, and the atmosphere to excellence in the habit. We have written everywhere that we have few slogans, which is, dance like a champion when you walk out, and we guys always hit, but excellence is a habit and you practice every day. It doesn't come by because you want to do it. And the second, one team, one heartbeat. So this you combine together, and it's in the soul and DNA for our athletes. That's the motivation comes from. And the biggest motivation is winning. If you could win and taste that once, you want this keep happening. And this is the winning always going to be the biggest prize our kids go after, because they come here because they're pure winners, because they do well athletically, they do well academically, and then combined with the love of this program, the love of this team, we don't need much to motivate you guys.
That's true. Everyone loves being there and everyone loves winning. Those are very true statements. Going into a new season, no doubt it takes a lot of planning, structuring, obviously recruiting, but most importantly, it takes resources. What would you say is the greatest need of the program right now so you all can continue a great legacy of excellence?
Well, going into the COVID, the biggest fear was, nothing was out of the table. We could have lost everything. I mean, really. I think went really dire, and I'm on the newsletter thread. It's called Coaches and Athletics or something like that. And I would read it every day. Some university dropped some programs every day. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what's going to happen to us? Then you see the hit home when Brown cuts the program and they're reinstating and they're in the process of it. Then the same happened with the Stanford. And those are the powerhouses of academic and athletic, powerhouses, especially Stanford. And then you really think that, okay, something's going to happen. We had our athletic director come and visit us at the beginning of the year, and to kind of reassure to every sport that his support was immense to every program. And our kids asked the 3 questions, and 2 of them were related to, are we going to be okay? Are we going to have fencing? So I never actually pushed the SOS button to all our alums, because we felt like we were in a good place because of the support we've gotten in the past. But again, coming out of the COVID, we don't know what's going to be the ramification implication in terms of the budget or the travel or etc. So we're kind of holding our breath to see what's going to happen. And I felt very comfortable with what we have, with alums we have, and the support we get. If we needed to, that would really help us to get through these tough times. But again, starting new years, it's the same situation. We need all the support we can get. We have commitment to our athletes that 11 Olympians don't come because they only train with the great coaches here. Olympians come because they go to World Cups, and Olympians being made because they go to NACs, and Olympians need the resources. The one most important fact that we need to send them to the World Cups, and our budget can't even handle the 5th of what our demands are. Those athletes come here because they know get to Olympics, but like yourself, Nina, you traveled 6 World Cups to 7 World Cups a year, and that takes lots of material resources. So that is our biggest concern. Probably the second biggest concern and wish list, kind of the first in the wish, second in the wish list will be to have a full-time armor slash video technology person full-time, because we have 60 kids who are breaking weapons and break equipment and the reels and the boxes every day. And then amplified when you compete and travel, it's a lot of work for them. And we have a person who does an incredible job, but we would love to have a full-time position here to secure that notion that everything will be done for the athletes, because that's another hour. Nina, you know how it takes to, you were the armorer in your freshman year for us.
I had a brief stint, yes.
Correct. And it takes that 45 minutes to an hour to fix the weapon. That takes away from the studying or training. And it is really important for us to have that. Again, we've done the Navy SEAL training, like you were part of 2 years or 3 years. We would love to bring them back. It takes the resources. We want to bring the best conditioning coaches who have an incredible knowledge in the fencing conditioning, to bring them over from all over the world to be able to share the knowledge with us. And not just Cedric's going to be designing the protocol and the program for us, could be someone else who could help us as well to do that. So it all takes immense resources, and we've been so lucky to have so many supporters to help us out. I would encourage and I would ask you to keep doing that, because this what makes this national championship team to be the same and to bring that legacy back here. Again, it's an arms race anymore, and it's called, it depends on how much money sometimes you have. So, and I really appreciate it. An incredible support we're getting. By any means, I'm so grateful for it. Yes, I'm asking for continuous support, but we're so lucky to have you all guys helping us out.
For sure. It definitely helps. And thank you guys so much. I wouldn't have been able to go to Notre Dame without a scholarship, and I cannot even express how much I've gotten from my experience there, and I continue to get with my Notre Dame family. So thank you very much.
That was amazing. Thank you both. Thank you, Nina, for hosting and for the closing remarks. As we continue to organize these coaches chats, you're so talented in this space, we might have to hire you full time to help us steer around here. So, but I'll reiterate.
Yeah, any day.
We'll sign you up right now. I'll echo Gia's comments and gratitude and thanks again to our alumni, to our benefactors who make all of the experiences that these two walked us through possible for our student athletes and the next generation. And Gia, thank you to you for your leadership and the humble way by which you go about your business and the example that you are for our student athletes. I don't know where we would be without you. So Notre Dame needs to be your home for a long, long time. Thank you so much. And best of luck to you, Nina, and to everyone else on the call. We look forward to bringing you back here. There was a question in the chat of who's hosting 2022 NCAAs. It will be at Our Ladies University, and we certainly hope everyone on this call can be in the arena for that. So with that, we wish you and your families health, and as always, go Irish.